Hi and welcome back to my video. My name's Lucy and I'm a PhD student at the University of Birmingham, and today I'm interviewing my friend Lauren.
Hi, I'm Lauren. Doing a PhD in pancreatic cancer research, so it's basically a drug development project. So I'm basically looking at the inhibition of these specific group of enzymes and looking at how they can be a therapeutic target for pancreatic cancer.
Okay, so I'll get straight into the questions. So what made you want to do a PhD?
For me, I kind of knew I wanted to do cancer research since I was in school. I'm a bit of a planner in life, so I kind of knew that's where I wanted to go. But then it was when I did my degree that I realised that that was kind of the steps I needed to take, whether I went into academia or industry. Both of them I needed a PhD, and yeah, I like research, so it makes sense for me.
I mean, I like research too. That's the main reason I did my PhD. So I think that's the reason a lot of people do PhDs, is because we love the research, not necessarily because we think it's going to have like amazing job prospects, but you know, it's fine. What has been your favourite part of doing the PhD so far?
I think it's been the freedom and like control I've had over it, because I've done research projects before and I'm usually very instructed in what I do. Whereas with this, the first few months I was like choosing which genes I was using, choosing which cells I was using, and so that's been quite good to make me a better scientist, I feel like. And yeah, I'm just hoping I've made the right decisions.
I'm sure you will have. I feel like your supervisors would have told you if you hadn't made the right decisions, so I'm sure we'll be fine. What have you found most challenging about the PhD so far?
I think the first few months I kind of expected to jump straight into lab work, and that didn't really happen. And that's because you have to undergo a lot of training and you kind of have to get used to working in a different lab. Even the same techniques that you've done before are usually different in a different lab. And so I think I probably felt like I wasn't making enough progress, even though I was. And I think that's a bit of a trait of all PhD students, to be a bit hard on yourself. And so that was a challenge, but looking back on it now, it was fine. It was just me.
Yeah, because I remember you were going to like whole day training events where it'd be like you and a bunch of other PhD students just doing like, not trust exercises, but I remember there was like some trust exercises.
There were some strange exercises. There was one where we were all blindfolded and we had to work out what coloured blocks people had.
I feel like that's something only scientists would come up with. They're like, oh, the standard ones, no, we don't need them. We're going to test them on their coloured block, I don't know, recognition. How have you found the postgraduate community at the University of Birmingham?
It's been really good. I think from the initial first welcome week, it was kind of like the freshers week, I've met so many people. Like that's where I met you and our little group that we've got. So that was really good. So it helped me settle in quite quickly, I feel like. And then also I've got my institute where I work, where obviously there's PhD students there who I've met and kind of get on with, and they were all so welcoming. And obviously they do social things as well, and we have a group chat called Pub ? Which is quite good to go for a drink after work if you want to.
Yeah, I think we were really lucky. Well, not lucky in Freshers Week, but we formed like our little group pretty early, and we've all pretty much stayed in contact, like the core people, I would say. And I think everyone talks about how lonely a PhD is, but I haven't found that at all at Birmingham.
No, I think it was really good to help me just settle in straight away and kind of have friends initially. Especially living, because I live on my own as well. I know you do too. Well, not anymore, but you did at the start.
I think like the first 2 months I lived by myself. So what does a typical day look like for you as a PhD student?
So I usually aim to get into the labs around 9:30. And usually the first thing I have to do is go into cell culture and check on my cells, make sure they're all alive and growing. And I'm usually preparing them for an experiment I'm doing that day or maybe in that week. And then that's pretty much my whole morning is spent in cell culture. And then at 12, everyone kind of goes for lunch in the institute. So it's quite nice because the group of us all go down to the common room and have lunch together, usually for around an hour. And then,
oh, wow.
Yeah, people take a long break in science, like, right, this is lunchtime. And then around 1 o'clock, sometimes we have a seminar. So that will be someone within the institute talking about their research. And that's good to kind of get to know other people's research and gives you ideas for your own. And then in the afternoon I'm usually just in and out of the lab doing experiment things, and kind of in between that I'm doing data analysis and reading research papers and stuff like that. And then I usually head home about 5 o'clock and yeah, just chill, see friends, hang out.
So yours is, I mean, I expect this with scientists now, but I feel like scientists are a lot more 9 to 5. just because you do have to go to a lab or you have to go to a student place. Obviously for humanities, sometimes I start work at midday, but then I'll work till like 7 p.m. or onwards. So I always find that a really interesting difference, how it does seem like science is a lot more structured and a lot more kind of office culture based, maybe.
It's a bit more like going to a job, like going to work 9 to 5, whereas I feel for you, you've got to be very self-motivated, whereas if I don't turn up, everyone's going to be like, where are you?
I don't turn up for work, nobody even knows. It's just me being like, maybe I won't do any work today. Oh, that's okay. Has doing a PhD lived up to your expectations, or has the reality been quite different?
I think I didn't expect to make so many friends in other fields. I think because I did my degree at the Royal Veterinary College, obviously everyone does the same thing, so I was always surrounded by sciencey people, and I kind of assumed I would just be again when I came here. But it's actually been really nice to have a different group of people who are passionate about what they do away from the science as well. And so yeah, I'm happy listening to you talk about queer fiction.
That is true, actually. We're a really mixed group. Like the I keep referring to the group. There's like a core group, I'd say, of like 7 of us. And we all do pretty much different things. There is a lot of English people in there, I'm not going to lie, but even within that, we're all doing different areas of English. So what is one place you think people should visit when they come to Birmingham?
I like the canal area, so Brindley Place, Gas Street Basin. I'm a bit biased because that's where I live, but but I think it's just a really nice area. There's lots of restaurants and bars to go to.
Me and Lauren have actually done a video together, which I will link in the top corner, of us exploring the canal area. I don't know if it was a particular part of the canal. It was just sort of, was it Brindley Place? Is that what the canals we explored?
It's kind of called Brindley Place and Gas Street Basin, so I'm not sure.
But you can go check it out. It's on the channel.
There's a little art gallery there that we went to. We weren't too thrilled about the exhibitions when we went.
No, I remember we sort of looked around and were like, maybe not that long of a stay. Like, in and out. But there was also, I don't think we went there in the video, but we went back another time to the cocktail bar that had the really good cocktails, and you got like a science-y colour changing one, didn't you? I remember it came in like a beaker, right? Or was that mine?
Yeah, I got a gin-based beaker one to go with my science theme, come with a little pot of jelly.
So that is a cool area. There is like really nice bars, and it's quite a small area, but it has a lot crammed into a small space, I would say. What is one piece of advice you would give to potential PhD students?
I think it would be, don't be afraid to ask questions. So I think when you first go into that kind of lab setting, and obviously you're surrounded by all these great scientists, you feel like you almost need to prove yourself in some ways, like I should be here. But especially when you're getting settled into a new lab, you've got to have training and obviously ask people for help. You don't know how to do everything. And so yeah, I'd be like, don't be afraid to ask questions. And the good thing about science is that it's so collaborative as well. And so like you need to take advantage of that. So yeah, don't be afraid to ask for help and training.
I kind of say the same thing even with humanities. It's like there's no stupid questions. If you don't know something and you're struggling to find it on your own, like you're in a place with experts or in a place with other people who might help you. So like reach out, they are there to help you, even if it's not necessarily your supervisor, if it's someone else in the department, or even if it's another PhD student and you know they've done work on what you're doing, just ask them, be like, oh, I don't really get this concept, or oh, do you know how like the printers work? I didn't know how the printers work, so I had to go ask someone, and I still don't really know how the printers work, so I now just avoid using the printers at the university. But there are no stupid questions, so I think that's very good advice.
Yeah, and I think I spoke to a lot of different PhD students around that time who were all kind of saying the same things as me, and saying they didn't feel like they were progressing at the rate they should be, or they hadn't felt like they made enough progress, but everyone's supervisor was happy with them. But I think they just weren't happy themselves.
I mean, even with me, like I look back at some of the research I did like in my first few months, and like I was doing research and I was learning, but now I'm like, why did I read that book? Like that book was not useful at all. But I think there is this pressure when you start of like, I need to be doing stuff now. And actually you do, because that's how you get into it. And like you said, my supervisor was really happy with everything I did in the first few months. But looking back on it, I'm like, it would have been okay to take a bit longer and maybe not feel like I had to do stuff and not read stuff just to read stuff, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and you need to give yourself time to settle in as well, and it's part of getting used to where you are as well. So yeah, don't be so hard on yourself.
Thank you so much, Lauren, for talking to me and telling us all about your PhD and like the process of doing a lab-based science PhD. Is there anything you would like to add or tell people?
Thanks for watching. I hope it was helpful for any science-based people out there.
What she's too modest to tell you is she also does have a YouTube channel. She's only posted a few videos and it's music related because she plays the piano and she's really good, and I'm going to link that below as well so you can go check her out. And that is the video. Hopefully you guys found this useful, and I will see you next Sunday. Bye!